Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the garage. Or should I say, what's happening? I think that's what I'm going to say from now on.
Dad, there's no bubbles in this.
No, I just filled up your bubble gun. Go play with the bubble gun. Oh, go play with the blue one then. Oh, alright, I'll fill that up in a sec. But, I'm going to get started on the truck today. We got a couple projects. I'm going to start tearing apart the clip on the truck. You can see behind me there. And Mike is going to work on the front cover of the quad. He's taking apart the headlight and he's going to pop out that fake gas cap or whatever that is. We're going to start just by gluing up the cracks. Gluing in the pieces, and then he's going to sand it all down and primer it, and hopefully it'll look a little better. It comes with this patch, so we'll reinforce the underside of it with that patch, but hopefully it'll stay together. We're also looking into hydro dipping it, and we'll primer it and maybe throw some paint on it for now. I'm not sure, but we definitely want to start hydro dipping stuff. That looks pretty cool. Lots of different designs out there. But yeah, so I'm going to get started on the clip and then we'll touch back with Mike every once in a while and see what's going on. So I'm going to start by removing the hood and the front clip, and then I will remove the radiator and the core support, and then I'll have to drain the oil first and the fluids and the coolant, and then because I want to remove the engine and the transmission as one. I think it's just going to be easier rather than trying to fight with those engine or those transmission bolts right up against the firewall and use 3 feet of extension to get to it. But that's the plan. That's how I'm going to do it. So, and yeah, and I'll have to remove I'll just unbolt the flanges from the exhaust manifolds and pull out as much of the thing as I can at once. Accessories, transmission, everything. And I think I'm gonna hyperlapse it. We're gonna do some time lapse, so sit back and watch. Change of plans here. I am not going to remove the core because he says his AC works and I don't want to disconnect those lines. So we'll remove the radiator because I already drained it. We would have needed to be drained anyway, so I'm going to remove it just to give us the room, and then I'll remove the fan, and I'll take off the compressor, the AC compressor, and just lay it aside with the lines all connected. That's how I did it on my Suburban. And it actually still has cold AC. It sat without an engine like that for almost a year. But I'll take the AC compressor off and set it aside, and the power steering pump, set that aside as well, so I don't have to disconnect those lines. Just got to take off the transmission cooler lines for the radiator, and then that'll come out, and then I'll start taking off the accessories. Coming along, huh? Rubbing it down to the alcohol?
Yeah. So there's still some blue on there.
Well, we'll sand it too. Sanding will hopefully get rid of a lot of that. Just gotta try to be careful we don't sand on that Polaris emblem. I wonder if we take the heat gun to the back of that, if if we can peel it up nicely. Mike's doing a little bit of the rewiring here for that headlight so it goes into the boot. I'm going to solder it back together with some heat shrink on there and do it right. Just got a soldering kit here. Heat shrink here. And in the meantime, where's the plastic thingy? It's out here.
Sure, now on the sun, next to the white part.
Okay. And we've got this guy glued up. Oh, I see. He's gonna do one side first, it looks like. Okay. That's not a big deal. That's how we were doing this. First we did these two lines here to get the centerpiece in place, and then we threw a little glue in there. A little glue over here on the other one. Or no, what was it? Right over here. Yeah, there's a second crack right here. Threw some glue in there, or that, that crap, whatever this is. Then it looks like he'll scrape some into there and get that. But yeah, that's coming along. And just in case the hyperlapse isn't covering everything, I was struggling over here getting this heater hose out, but it came out without breaking. Just needed a little convincing with a mechanic's pick, and I was able to pull it out of there, out of that hole. So that might be reusable as long as the O-ring's good. I got most of the electrical off here. I got the AC set out of the way. Something about these bolts that I want to share. Right there. See how that left side shaved off? Right there. But that is so the heads lock up on these pads and don't spin when you put the nuts on the back. And also, you have to turn that just right too. After you get the nuts off and loosen the bolt, you have to turn that just right so that is facing the pulley. Otherwise, they won't come out of there. So you have to turn it just right to get it past the pulley. And it is a really tight clearance with this bottom hole. I had to take these ones out first and then kind of wiggle it and give myself that little bit of room, force it all the way up just so I get that bottom bolt past the pulley. But there's no cutting required like I saw in another video. That was silly. Power steering pump's giving me a problem. I got to run to the store, get a puller, and then I guess this exhaust flanges. Oh, that's right. So I'm gonna get a puller and some rust release penetrant stuff. And Mike's got this piece set in here. Doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty good. And then there was a tab here that was busted. We glued that back together. That stuff seems to harden pretty good. I mean, and then we just tape that up for protection right now. Yeah, we need to let it harden before we sand it. And then there's the mesh stuff that it came with, and we just, well, Mike did. Mike just, you know, took whatever we had left and just filled it in. Just put it down nice and tight, got them overlapping a little bit, but
I was hoping to get more goop on it.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, it feels more sturdier than what, you know, this plastic has already been, you know, sun damage. And,
right. I mean, it does feel more rigid than any other part on here. I mean, that is solid. And it's not even done curing, but that's gonna be fine. We'll that's I'm so happy about that. That's gonna be able to be sanded, and we'll prime it up. Take that sticker off. Got the oil draining. The exhaust is off. All the bolts except for one bolt on the bell housing is out. But I got everything disconnected, I believe. Starter's out. Power steering's off. Exhaust is disconnected. Ground wire's disconnected. Oh man, I found so many things wrong with this thing. But I found the old ground wire. It was cut. I don't know if we can see that. I'll show you when we pull it out there. But there's a cut ground wire, and someone put on that small one there going to the valve cover lid, which I guess is okay. Or I'm letting that drain, and then I've got the one bell housing bolt to do, and then the two motor mount bolts. There's another one there covered in schmutz. I like the word schmutz. I heard that from the Australians. They say all kinds of different stuff. Morning. It's the next day. We took a break. And, well, I was just kind of working slowly. You know, it goes slowly when you're doing it by yourself. And Mike did jump in there and help me a little bit when he was waiting for this to dry to get some of those motor or bell housing bolts out. But after it got dark, we sanded on this a little bit, and this looks pretty good. Everything's really good, like really in place. We just got to sand it up and make it flawless, right? All these weather cracks are sanding out pretty good. You can't even feel that anymore. We just got to do the rest of it like that. And then, did you order the Hydro Dip stuff?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get it in primer today, hopefully. And then I'll get started on pulling this out. Almost didn't get the camera in time, but I wanted to show you guys where we were at before we got too much primer on it. And so he's just fogging it right now, making sure it's gonna lay right. That thing's putting some speckles on it, isn't it?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's, yeah, throw that thing away. It's too old. We'll get the other can. But I mean, that is just looking good. And it's out. Leaking all over the place. Oh, we need more kitty litter. It's not enough. Now we got to start breaking it down. It is disgusting. Oh my God. Like, what is this? I don't know what that is. An old ground strap. Okay. So gross. Man. I'd spend a lot of time cleaning them. Okay, well. Alright, time to get to taking it apart. The heads are off. Looking kind of normal for 200,000+ miles. That's probably going to be it for today. I gotta go take my son's friend down, take him home, so this is how we placed everything for now. All the push rods and everything in order. We'll find a better method, like some cardboard or paper towels. And hey, you guys, get back in the backyard. Get in there. I see you trying to sneak out to the front. right, well, here it is. I got everything set over there. Mike took it all apart. He said he wanted to do the fun part. I pulled it out of the truck. He got to tear it all apart. But I haven't really inspected it yet. I mean, except for what, you know, just looking at it as we're pulling stuff out. Nothing a good polishing couldn't get rid of, honestly. So this piston has a bunch of carbon at the top, which would be this one here. They all kind of look like that. But anyway, everything kind of came out all right. No piston rings were stuck. All of these rods still move really good, but not too bad. So from what I can tell, everything's reusable. Everything moves free, but not too free. Nothing that could use some cleaning. There's some gunk buildup and stuff. It's probably got these guys a little stiff when they're over to the extreme size that they've never been ran on before. But everything's sitting here. We're just gonna go through with everything one by one and clean it all up and put it back together. But thanks for the help, Mike.
No problem. We're not the deal ball, this guy too.
Oh yeah.
There's no crosshatch at all left on it.
No, this had 200.
Oh, really?
250,000 miles. There's some scoring. Hopefully that's the ridges. There's no ridges at all, really. Just you can
right here on the top.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
There's nothing the dingle owner can't get rid of. So I do want to. We'll check to make sure all the valves are seating good. We'll take the heads off and redo the seats and.
Yeah, we gotta take a look at those.
Right, lap the valves if we have to. But that's where we're at so far. Okay, so this has kind of been the norm for this entire disassembly. I mean, come on, guys. This is, you can't even see a nut or a bolt. You can't even see it. Where is it? I don't see it.
Where's Waldo?
Yeah, keep your engine clean, guys. How do you know if you got a leak or where it's coming from if your whole engine looks like this? Yeah. So what do we got going on? We're pulling that off so we can get the timing chain off and the gears off. The crank's already off, or I mean, all the caps are off. That's just, this one's just finger tight to keep it in place for now so it doesn't accidentally get knocked out of place or something. I got the rear main seal off. So this truck didn't smoke. It started up, it sat for a while. It's like a 3 years, he said. It fires right up every time. It sat in my backyard for a month without even being touched. I opened the doors and cobwebs were just holding it together. Didn't touch it. And it fired right up. Drove right up the ramps. You know, didn't smoke, didn't knock. Like I said, fired right up. Drove fine. I did test drive it when he dropped it off around the block a little bit, and just to get an idea of, you know, the strength of the motor, to see if I could hear any weird sounds that I should try to remember during rebuild. And it seemed fine, other than having, you know, 230 something thousand miles on it. You know, and so what we see here is kind of typical for that amount of mileage and for the amount of care these trucks usually receive. You know, no offense, Keith. We're gonna have to clean everything, but I don't think we're gonna worry about doing rods or pistons, just because of what I said earlier. It wasn't smoking or making any weird sounds. All of these are very free. Most of them are just beautiful. There's, I think, two of them. There was two of them that have some stiff spots, but I think it's just oil gunk. You know, the grime buildup. Nothing some cleaning can't handle. But yeah, and knocked over golden goodness. None of the listers looked scratched or damaged any more than the next lifter. I haven't got the crank out yet, so I don't know what the condition on that is. It does have, you know, so many miles, and that might be one thing we're considering to replace, is the cam and a lifter kit, maybe. But we don't know yet. We don't know yet. So we're gonna continue cleaning, and then I'll let them know where we're at when we're ready to make that decision.